Tired sure has Boots on his mind, right?
Yeah, I know Bud keeps saying he's retired, but also what Bud is not saying, right? He keeps talking about the fight, and that's for a reason. Bud's one of the most competitive people I've ever met, if not the most.
Yep.
100%.
A+ versus A.
That's A+ versus A. I like that.
Terrence just a little too much and will catch him.
Yeah.
And buzz Boots. And
yeah.
I think that'll. I think Terrence stops him.
It's such a special fight because you got two alpha males in the ring.
Is Terence Crawford truly finished with boxing, or could the calls for one final super fight eventually become impossible to ignore? After Jaron "Boots" Ennis delivered another statement-making performance, former fighters, analysts, and fans quickly turned their attention toward one dream matchup. If Crawford genuinely believes he is on another level compared to Boots, many argue there is only one way to settle the debate: step back into the ring. Crawford has built one of the strongest resumes of his generation, while Boots represents the fearless new wave, bringing youth, size, power, and confidence into the equation.
Terence "Bud" Crawford makes it official, rejects the notion that he could come out of retirement to face Jaron "Boots" Ennis, stating he really has nothing to prove. Wishes Boots Ennis well on his journey, but he ain't coming out of retirement for no dang Jaron.
Although Crawford continues to maintain that retirement remains his priority, the boxing world simply refuses to abandon the possibility of seeing him fight again. Sean Porter has spoken highly of Bud, and his opinion carries additional weight because he has personally shared the ring with him. Porter understands that Crawford's greatness isn't limited to championships and accomplishments. His ability to read an opponent in real time, adjust when situations change, and slowly take away what makes an opponent effective has made him one of the smartest fighters of his generation. That's precisely why many still consider him such a dangerous matchup for Boots. While Ennis has physical gifts and explosive athleticism, Crawford's exceptional ring intelligence has always been his biggest weapon.
That are true alpha males, you know what I mean? I was an alpha male until I got in the ring with that dude.
It just,
that dude, like, it was like, the more he wasn't allowing me to do what he wasn't, and it was like, damn, okay, well then,
you know? You had one of them in eights and the other in sparring?
I don't know, because that dude hit me with a right hand in the sparring, and I was like, I was like, yo, that was real.
It's one of those things where Boots is good, but once you run in there with that, you're like.
Ade Oladipo believes Boots could be the one fighter capable of convincing Crawford to make one final return. From his perspective, this matchup has everything needed to capture the imagination of boxing fans. Ennis is aggressive, confident, and completely comfortable exchanging punches, creating endless possibilities for an exciting fight. That aggressive mentality alone raises the question of how Crawford would respond if he ever decided to put the gloves back on and face the young star.
And look, do I think Boots versus Crawford could happen? Yeah. Do I think it will happen? I guess that's down to Terence Crawford. We know Boots wants it. Eddie will take it straight away. Will Terence Crawford bite back? I think so far, he's put out a tweet. He's been quite complimentary. I saw a video he did with All the Smoke, quite complimentary of Boots' win. I almost want to see that nastiness in him come out. And it's there, trust me. I've been around Crawford quite a lot in the last few years. If someone pokes the bear, 9 times out of 10, Crawford will poke back. Could this be the 1 time out of 10 where he doesn't? I don't know. I don't want it to be. I've always felt that when Terence Crawford says, I'm not fighting again, obviously, look, he's been doing it for 30 years. Terence Crawford's, 38? He's been boxing since he was 7 or 8. So it could just be a case of, I want to do something different. He travels the world. He's in Tanzania right now. He's enjoying life. But I always felt he retired because where were the challenges? The big challenge was Canelo at 168. He done that. There was no real challenge at 154. He wasn't going to fight Sebastian Fundora or Virgil Ortiz. They weren't really making a play for him. There certainly wasn't challenges at 160. Carlos Adames, Alam Kanali, Hamza Shiraz. Nothing to tempt him. This could be the one that...
Max Kellerman has enormous respect for everything Crawford has accomplished throughout his career. He considers Bud one of boxing's finest technicians, someone who relies on patience, precise timing, and intelligent adjustments to frustrate his opponents. However, Kellerman also believes Boots would present a challenge unlike anything Crawford has faced recently. Ennis combines youth, physical strength, relentless pressure, switch-hitting ability, and an offensive arsenal capable of putting even elite veterans in uncomfortable positions. According to Max, those qualities could make Boots the favorite if the fight happened today. Not because Crawford's greatness has disappeared, but because Ennis could hold the physical advantage.
Talking, that's why. I mean, look.
Not much. Talking much.
Here's the thing. If Bud is 90% of who he has been,
yeah,
Boots got no wins against Bud. He ain't gonna be. But Bud would beat him up and knock him out.
He's fresh.
But now Bud's been off for a year. If Bud is off for a year and a half, 2 years, and he's pushing 40, and the thing about Boots is he's a young man with young man reflexes, a sizzling offense. All of a sudden, your body's not responding the way it used to a guy like that. It becomes an interesting matchup. What do you think of this?
And there's a reason he's talking about it, all right? Look at what he...
Tim Bradley also acknowledges Crawford's exceptional resume and championship-level experience. At the same time, he believes Boots continues to develop with every appearance. Bradley sees Ennis getting better while already performing at an elite level, which could make him even more dangerous than people realize. His ability to switch stances, create attacks from unexpected angles, and overwhelm opponents with combinations presents a unique challenge that few fighters can prepare for. Bradley believes those qualities could become particularly difficult for a fighter returning after spending time discussing retirement.
Said that in the interview that he will knock out Bud Crawford.
He said easy work.
And he also said, said that
this ain't Xander Zayas, brother.
But he's also said that that Bud ducked him.
Right, but I'm saying Bud wouldn't even respond to him if he wasn't at least thinking about it a little bit, right?
But Bud, he's freshly retired.
Right.
You're talking about a competitive dog. And we got this guy over here talking crazy, saying that I'm easy work.
Yeah,
exactly.
I'm gonna sit here and watch it, and I'm gonna pick.
Showbiz the adult believes Crawford may not have been nearly as impressed by Boots' latest victory as the rest of the boxing world. While social media celebrated Ennis' knockout and praised the dominant performance, Crawford appeared to analyze the result from a much more critical perspective. From Bud's point of view, the excitement surrounding the victory may have gone further than what the actual performance deserved.
What do you think about what Terence Bud Crawford said here?
I think we overhyping this victory, you know, in a sense where nobody picked Xander to win. Everybody was kind of like, okay, he's in over his head and it's a matter of time before Boots catch him and end the fight.
Again, noodles, no packing. I don't give a damn. No.
Crawford reportedly noticed details that many fans completely overlooked. Even though Boots ended the fight in impressive fashion, Bud may have identified defensive openings, moments when Ennis remained within range too long, and situations where a more experienced opponent could have capitalized. Those subtle mistakes are exactly the kinds of details an elite technician studies carefully, especially when evaluating a potential future opponent.
Bothers me is all of you booty buddies out there talking about, hey, Terence Crawford will whoop Boots. Boots ain't ready for Terence Crawford. Shut your ass up. Shut your ass up. Shut your ass up. Because we were saying this a while back, a year ago.
Bud never questioned Boots' natural talent or overall ability. Instead, his message appeared to focus on how highlight reel knockouts can sometimes cause fans to overlook what happened throughout the rest of the fight. While spectators naturally concentrate on the spectacular finish, elite fighters examine everything that happened before the stoppage. Crawford understands that those smaller details can be just as important as the final result when judging a fighter's true level.
So my breakdown with Boots and Xander is, you know, I felt like Xander the wrong fight, you know, but you know, a lot of people knew Xander was green and he was taking a fight too soon. But at the same time, you can't exchange with somebody that's faster than you and more athletic than you. So I thought that was the wrong game plan in his own right. You know, Boots is more faster, sharper, especially in the exchanges. And I think that's what led Xander to get hurt the times that he did get hurt, because he got caught with a shot.
When looking at the matchup itself, Crawford believes Xander Zayas took on a major challenge before he was completely ready for it. He recognizes Zayas' talent and long-term potential, but he also understands how important experience and timing are in boxing. Taking on someone as physically gifted and accomplished as Boots at this point in his development may simply have been too much. In Crawford's view, bravery is important, but courage by itself cannot replace the development needed to compete at the highest level.
Inexperience, like he really just gave his corner the opportunity to do whatever they wanted. That's how I see it.
Okay, meaning when he looked over to them?
Right.
Okay.
But that's what you taught. You know, you taught when you get a knockdown or if you get hurt, look at your corner. So I wouldn't say that he quit because he took the big step in getting in there when he didn't have to.
How did you think Boots looked?
Boots looked like himself. He was sharp, he was explosive, and, you know, the experience that he carried in the ring allowed him to be victorious that night, and his skills and talent.
Did you think he would look like that, or did you think he would look better, worse? What were you expecting going in?
I wasn't expecting anything.
Okay.
I was just expecting to watch Xander fight and Boots fight.
Meanwhile, Boots has only intensified the discussion by confidently claiming that both Terence Crawford and Devin Haney would be easy work for him. That kind of self-belief is exactly what keeps fans talking about these potential dream matchups. Ennis clearly believes he belongs above every major name currently being discussed around him. After his dominant victory over Xander Zayas, Boots feels that his speed, power, confidence, and complete skill set have reached another level. But bold declarations also create massive expectations, and now every performance ahead will be judged against the statements he has already made.
I'm gonna ask you some names. I need to know, does easy work pop in your mind or a challenging fight? Xander.
Easy work.
Charlo.
Easy work.
Fedor.
Easy work.
Errol Spence.
Easy work.
Devin Haney.
Easy work.
Boots later made his position even clearer, insisting that Crawford's opinion has no influence on what he plans to accomplish. Whether Bud chooses to speak about him publicly or remains retired does not change Ennis' objectives. His attention is still on winning championships, becoming undisputed, and taking on whoever is placed in front of him. If Crawford decides to return, Boots believes he would beat him. And if Crawford never steps back into the ring, Ennis says he will continue building his own legacy without needing anyone else's approval.
We ain't worried about retired. You know, we focus on tasking. Taking over this division. We ain't worried about the retired fighters.
Yeah, y'all keep on throwing Terence up. Terence suck, he retired. Leave Terence alone. Let him do what he's supposed to do. You know what I mean? Have fun and enjoy his family.
Boot.
He made the statement. Who that?
Blood made the statement.
All of them. I don't care who makes the statement.
Greg Hackett shared a similar view and supported that approach. He believes Boots cannot allow his entire career to become centered around a retired champion. Crawford has already accomplished enough to secure his legacy and earn widespread respect, but Ennis still has plenty left to achieve. Hackett's message is that Boots should keep chasing titles and facing elite opposition whether Crawford accepts the challenge or not. If the opportunity eventually appears, then Ennis can take it. If it doesn't, his overall mission stays unchanged.
Yeah. And we fighters. Listen, we fighters. We not rappers. Like, you know what I'm saying? Rappers gotta talk. Fighters gotta fight. Let's fight. Why do I gotta call you? You want this man to wake up in the morning and be like, Bud, like, come on, bro. What the is that? You know what I mean? And listen, anybody that tell you, I with Bud Crawford. I with Bud. I think he one of the baddest motherfuckers to ever do it.
Trainer Breadman Edwards offered another angle by focusing on the level of opposition Boots has faced. In his view, Xander Zayas was always a favorable opponent because Ennis possessed noticeable advantages in strength, experience, and creativity. Crawford presents a completely different problem. Bud is a veteran champion who recognizes patterns quickly, adjusts almost immediately, and punishes mistakes with exceptional precision. Breadman's argument is straightforward. Dominating Zayas does not guarantee that the same approach would work against someone as experienced and adaptable as Crawford.
Yeah, I don't think he has a glass jaw, Mills. I think that he's a durable guy, but I think that we overestimated not we, but just the boxing world just overestimated his size and his fundamentals. I do. I think, and Boots' supposed lack of defense. Xander is the one with the leaky defense. He could not miss him. But Xander was never criticized for his defense. You know what I'm saying, bro? He never gets criticized for.
Have you been seeing a lot of people saying that? Why did he fight this type of fight?
Yes.
You seen him fight, Brett?
Yes, and I thought he would box more, but you got to remember in the first round, Boots was killing him with the jab.
Facts.
And he dropped him. So Xander probably said, if I stay on the end of this, he gonna pick me apart all night because he's just too fast and too sharp.
Mm-hmm.
So he probably said, let me just be bigger and stronger and go to work and try to do what Karen did in the second fight and see if that works, because he was on the end of that hot early, and Boots is so much quicker than he is. He probably said, man,
Oy responded to Crawford's well-known statement that he is 10 steps ahead of Boots by explaining how perfectly it fits Bud's mentality. Crawford isn't simply talking about physical ability when he makes that claim. He believes his biggest advantage comes from his intelligence inside the ring. Anticipating an opponent's movements, recognizing patterns, and controlling the rhythm of a fight are areas where Crawford believes he has few equals. That confidence is exactly why Bud feels his mental edge could overcome Ennis' youth and athletic advantages.
Zayas too. But when you look at Crawford's career, until the end of his career, Crawford hadn't fought anybody that people thought that had a chance against him. You know what I'm saying? That was his biggest criticism, was his strength of opposition. So for him to use that same criticism on an up-and-coming Boots not at the tail end of his career. He's ascending, and he's fighting guys like that, right? So I think that that's the only knock I had, was to try to knock the opponent was my issue. But him going back and forth and saying what he think he can do against the Boots, I get that. You're a fighter. Fighters think like that. I don't think Boots said the same easy work, you know what I mean? Which, that's just the way fighters are, because they look at it like, at the end of the day, I think I got a good...
Bernie the boxer considers the potential Crawford versus Boots showdown the ultimate clash between two generations. Ennis would enter the fight with youth, explosiveness, size, and tremendous confidence, particularly after becoming comfortable competing in his new division. Crawford, on the other hand, remains an elite strategist whose greatest strength has always been finding solutions to complicated problems inside the ring. Bernie believes this matchup could ultimately reveal whether raw physical advantages are enough to overcome years of championship experience and superior boxing intelligence.
I just want to ask you that question first. I want to ask you that question first. Can you answer that for me, Boots? If you see this interview and everybody's talking, or Boots fans or whoever it is, and everybody getting mad at me, I'm just asking you, if you're the #1 contender for Errol Spence, why would you let Bud Crawford take your spot? Okay. Now, okay. Fine. I commend you on that, because let's just say you wanted those guys to fight for that way you can be undisputed. Okay, I'm going to let those guys fight because, I want to be undisputed. Okay. So we let you slide on that one. Okay. Now, when this fight is made, just like most big fights, there's usually a rematch clause. Okay. So with these type of superstar fighters, we know they fight, infrequently. They fight less. They're not gonna. It's not gonna be immediate. It's not gonna be. So let's say they fight. How much do you think the time would be for the rematch to happen? Right in there to fight Crawford again. Actually, they're going to be trying to get rid of Crawford after that. Like, we didn't want you anyway.
Shannon Sharp, Chad Johnson, and Joe Johnson also reacted to Boots' impressive victory over Xander Zayas. All three were impressed by what they witnessed, agreeing that Ennis delivered a complete performance from beginning to end. They praised the way Boots controlled the action, dictated the pace, and consistently imposed his preferred style throughout the contest.
Hey, Unc, he taking a lot of punishment in there, man. He taking a lot of punishment in there. Let me know when to go, Unc. Go ahead.
All I'm gonna say is this: when he came, when he switched, he started out in orthodox because he's an orthodox fighter.
Yes.
He went to southpaw. Ocho, every lead left he threw, he landed it. He was like, damn, 100%. I'm talking about flush. I'm like, damn, Xander, he doing all this, his head still. It's like, you know how they move that ball and they be punching that ball and be going back and forth. Yeah. That's Xander's head. Shoulders moving, head right there. Ping,
right there.
Ping, hey. But Boots took a little beating too now.
Hey, Joe, that
third round.
Come on. That third round, I mean, Booth said it. Booth said it, when he talked to the commentator after the fight in that third round, I got a little bit lazy with my defense. Now, he took some shots, Unc and Joe, but most of the time he rolled with him. But at that third round, and I'm surprised that Xander, also, that Boots being the puncher that he is, Xander chose to just stay in the pocket and just...
Ooh, man. You better get out of range or move your head.
I
do both. Get out of range and move your head.
Seeing Jaron "Boots" Ennis stop Xander Zayas in the 7th round made a strong statement. It was the kind of dominant performance that reminded the boxing world why so many fans and analysts believe Boots has the potential to become the next major face of the sport.
Xander Zayas in the 7th round. Great performance. I want to salute both of the fighters for putting it all on the line. Their undefeated records on the line. The young Puerto Rican unified champion, stepped up in competition when it came down to Jaron "Boots" Ennis. Lots of people believe that he is the phenom in boxing, the upcoming star in boxing. But was this performance that catapulted him for that? Well, first round, drops him. Second round, beats him. I say third round and fourth round, I felt like Xander Zayas had lots of success in those rounds. I felt like he hurt Jaron "Boots" Ennis. I seen Jaron "Boots" Ennis clinching in the third.
That's everything for today's video. Stay connected for more boxing updates, fight news, and the latest developments from around the sport.